What's up, everyone? All right, so we're gonna break down the trades from today, finishing in the green, which is great. I'm happy about that. And a nice green day and better composure, better discipline than yesterday. So there will only be one recap for today, not two. I'm done. I'm locking it up. I've got class starting in 45 minutes and I don't want to overstay my welcome. So grateful to be green and actually hit the daily goal today, thanks to PGY. That was where I did the best. So we got some nice action on PGY, squeezed up about 20%, traded it pre-market, took a couple trades or maybe just one trade at the just past the open. Didn't end up being a good trade. So action today was pre-market. There's been some action on FRGT and AYLA since the bell, but both a little cheaper. Wasn't too sure about either of them, missed some opportunities, but we'll break it down during the recap. Reminder that tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'm gonna host a class that you guys are welcome to attend. It'll be a concise version of the algo scalping strategy course that I'm teaching for Warrior members. So if you wanna register for that, there'll be a link right down below, pinned to the comments and in the description, so you can check that out. And I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you then. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. We've got class starting in about an hour. Algo scalping strategy, chapters 4 and 5 for Warrior members. So I wanna do my recap and go over the trades from today. So today is a green day. You know, it's not a huge green day. Of course, there haven't been a lot of huge green days this month. This is where I was at on the month, not including yesterday. I haven't imported yesterday yet, but yesterday was up about 3,600. So realistically, I've only hit my daily goal 1, 2, 3 days. Today is the third day this month. This is not super impressive. Daily goal is 5,000. Of course, 5,000 a year is 5,000 a day is $1 million a year. So, you know, it's an aggressive goal considering we're 6 months into a bear market, but you know, I'm trying to keep my head above water and I'm trading with max position of 10,000 shares right now. That's the biggest position that I've taken in quite a while. As you recall, back in June, I did this little Martha's Vineyard challenge, trading on my traveling trading station, and I had a goal of $1,000 a day. And I ended up, you know, making like 25,000 and then giving back you know, half of it right here in 2 days. And I was pretty disappointed in myself. I felt like these were really big losses to be taking given this market. So after kind of a choppy week there at the end of at the middle of June, market holiday here, and then I said, you know what, let's slow it down. So I slowed it down, and this is when I've, since, you know, these past like 4 weeks have really been 5 weeks, taking it pretty easy. And, you know, anyway, so taking it slower, trying to just get through the bear market, keep making a little bit of money without, you know, taking a lot of risk, and trying to keep the red days as small as possible. So I had a couple losses today, but they were minimal. Didn't trade everything that was moving. Nice move here on AYLA, up 142%. Ooh, look at that rejection though. Yikes. So up to 240, back down to 210. Yikes. That is that's a swing. That, you know, and this is the thing. I mean, we're just getting we just start getting this chop, and I don't like it. Nobody likes it. I really don't like it though. Look at that false breakout. This candle is broken, and you know what? We saw something pretty similar on VRACKS at the open, halts down. We saw something similar on PGY. So I'm at a point right now where I'm saying, listen, you know what, man? Give yourself a pat on the back for hitting your daily goal. It's not come easy this month, but you got it today. Let's walk away, keep the money in your pocket, come back and try again tomorrow. I think I was up 5,800, so gave back, whatever, a little bit off the top, but not a lot. All right, so the day started for me with VRACKS, and this one, I said, well, first of all, I didn't sit down as early as I could have. I had a long class yesterday. My throat gets scratchy after doing like 4 or 5 hours of 6 hours of kind of talking, and So tried to rest up a little bit and didn't think I really needed to sit down at 6:45 because we haven't really been seeing a lot of super early action. But sure enough today, right, 7 a.m., you had news on FRGT, gave you an algo spike, squeezes up, and continuation. So I missed that first trade. That ended up being our leading gapper on the day. FRGT is still sitting at 87% gain on the day. So pretty nice move there, up to a high of 315, back at 277 now. So on this one, while if I had been sitting down, so let's just look at the chart. So if I'd been sitting down on this, let's look at the 10-second chart. All of a sudden, it starts popping up, and I saw Rachel. She mentioned that she got a trade on this. She was long at 197, and I was like, that looks like that was a good trade, and took profit into 230, 240. The thing that I looked at here is, all right, so first it pops up to 197, drops down in this candle to 170, pops back up 195, drops back down to 180. So probably you had bigger spreads right in this area, a little choppy, right? Not super easy. Then it breaks 197 and hits a high of 216. Two topping tails, we sometimes call that a tweezer top, right? So you've got this tweezer top, right there at the very top, like little chopsticks, and that's bearish. We don't really like to see that. It reverses, hits a low here of 185, and then pops back up to 226. So, when she said, oh, I had 197 and I got out, took profit, I initially was looking at that on, the 1 minute chart, and I was like, oh, nice trade. I bet that was, it looks pretty clean, because this is what I was looking at right here. Well, it's easy to ignore the bottoming tail candle right here down to 180. You just sort of are like, oh, you got in there and you sold up here, nice. But you got to look at those bottoming tails, and they're easier to see when you're looking at a short time frame. So then, up to 26, drops down again to 204. So this is a pretty, these are pretty big swings for a small cap stock. And then it breaks here, and here's where it starts to open up. Interestingly, the highest volume looks like on a red candle there. Hit a high of 257, then drops all the way back down to 220, holds support at the volume weighted average price, and then curls back up here. And then, you end up getting a nice, a little bit more on it, up to 65.70. But the fact is, in this area, we went into this really tight range of consolidation. So those of you guys who were tuned in yesterday to the algo scalping class, oops, hang on, I gotta turn that camera on. Let me just stand up and turn the camera on. So what you may remember is that I talked about how these algos provide liquidity when we're in these tight bands. So when we're in these sort of tight bands, you've got a lot of liquidity in here, and this is where it gets really choppy. And then when the stock starts to break out of these bands, from coming up here and then breaking out here, this is where these algos thin out, and you start getting these algo spikes, and you can start getting these really clean moves. So these are the places right in here and right in here where I want to be trading. And in this area, unless I'm going to take a stab at buying like a dip right here to anticipate the next break, I have to be really careful trading in this range. What can sometimes happen is you get a false break and then a flush, just like this false break to the downside and a pop back up. So again, just to reiterate a little bit what we talked about in class yesterday. And those that are watching this as a recap on YouTube, there'll be a link down below in the description where you can register to the concise algo scalping strategy class that'll be on tomorrow, Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So long area here of sort of tight consolidation, not easy to trade. Yes, you get some dips. Yes, you get some pops. The pops get shorted. The dips, reverse, but not super easy. And it's a long period. Look at how long that was, this period of consolidation. This is not easy to trade. Then it starts to break out. It breaks, it retests that level, it holds, and then it starts to open up a little closer to the bell. So some nice action on FRGT. Like I said, I didn't trade it, but good to see that it was holding up relatively well. And then AYLA, our second leading gapper this morning on this one. Liked the idea of it, as it squeezed up at the open, and a nice pop here. But early when I first sat down, it was below VWAP. When it popped up here, I just kind of thought, yeah, the price is a little too low for me. But boy, nice move there. Of course, then you got this kind of nasty sell. And this, again, you think about how these algos work. Most likely someone out there tried to execute some pretty big sell orders. You got the flush, the algos pulled the bid, and you get that sell off. All right, so that's AYLA, VS, second leading gapper. And then, so VRACKS, this is the first one I traded today. And someone mentioned it, that it was squeezing up, and that was like, what time was it? 8:30 or something. And there was news that was posted at 8 a.m. and it goes from $16 straight up to $19. And the spread on it was $1.80 a share, almost $2 a share. It was like 17 by 1888. And I looked at that and I was like, I can't trade this. I could buy 100 shares of it and I'm risking $200, and it needs to go up, $4 a share to feel like that's a good risk reward. And I'm only going to make $400. So there's no point. And there's no way I'm going to take 2,000 or 3,000 shares on it, because I don't want to risk $3,000 or $4,000 today. I don't want to go down really more than $1,000 in the red. So I didn't even feel like I could take a couple hundred shares. So I didn't end up taking it in that area. It goes up to 22.25, and I was like, all right, well, it went higher, but risk was too high, so whatever. It pulls back to the VWAP right here. And this is where I was like, you know what? All right, this is a nice little consolidation here. And I bought 50 shares at 21, 50. It goes up to a high of 23.50, so I was up $100. It pulls back and comes a little higher. And anyways, I sold for $1 a share. Now, I tried to buy more, but I only got a partial fill of 50, and I said, I'm not chasing this. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to chase it. Now, the thing here at 21 was the risk was about 20. So the risk was a little tighter right in this area versus VWAP and the 20 moving average. At this spot here, the risk was way too high. So anyways, made $1 a share on it, and then switched to PGY. So PGY I've had on a side chart, for the last couple days. Sometimes you have to be a little careful going back to the well too many times on a stock. You had action on it on, Wednesday. Thursday was flat. Friday, yesterday, a little action, but wasn't easy, as you recall. I went red on it, then got that back and finished up 1,800. And, now we have it here today. So on this one, this morning, Larissa said, okay, I'm watching this over, it was like $10.15 or something like that, 10.10. And I pulled it up and I was like, wow, I see that. And right there, you got a green candle up to 10.34. Then it goes up to 10.50. And, I thought, boy, that's not a bad look. It's light on volume, but it's moving up. And this is one that has sort of done this in these last few days. It pops up. So the trade that I took on it, let me go back. Let me look at this. So my first trade on this was a little higher, but I bought this 1 minute bull flag right there at 11. That was my first trade right there. And it was a good trade. In fact, those were probably the cleanest trades of the day. I didn't make a lot on those two trades because I didn't trade big size. I bought 1,500 shares. Added another 1,000 at 38, took profit at 41, added back at 57 and 60, took profit at 83, added back at 12, and just kind of kept trading it. But then I got a nice trade right here on this break back over VWAP. And this was a clean one. I was kind of watching for that possibility. It was pinned between VWAP and the 20 moving average, and I got in as it broke through that 1160 level of VWAP. And we got a nice move there up to 12. And then this ended up right here being a nice candle as well. This was resolution on an ABCD pattern on the 5 minute. Unfortunately, it ended up closing as a gravestone doji candle. So it resolved. So ABCD pattern, pop, pull, and then breaks through 12. We were looking for that squeeze up to 1250, 1275. 12 has been on watch since yesterday, and we haven't been able to hold over 12. It keeps breaking but not holding. And so that level continues to be in play. So anyways, those are my trades on it. I took one more trade. The last trade was right here, break of VWAP again, 1155, adding at 1160, and stopped out for a small loss at like 1153. So managed the risk, kept it tight, gave it a stab, but wasn't able to get another trade on that. So yeah, so that's where I finished the day. Grateful to be above the daily goal slightly and locking up another small green day here. So green is good, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. And again, reminder for those on YouTube, in case you didn't already know, trading is risky. My results are not typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success as a trader, whether you trade with me or you'll learn on your own. So make sure you take it slow, practice in a simulator, don't blindly follow, and I'll see you for the morning show first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you then. Students, we'll see you for class at 11. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.